Hey everyone. Moving on to the second half of today's Abbott and Costello double feature, we have their 1945 comedy, The Time of Their Lives. Now, in 1780, American tinker Horatio Prim, Lou Costello, comes to the home of Tom Danbury, Jess Barker, where he hopes to find his sweetheart, indentured servant Nora O'Leary, Ann Gillis. Now, Horatio does not have enough money to set her free, but he does have a letter from George Washington that should be good enough for Nora's masters. However, Tom is making plans to help Benedict Arnold turn West Point over to the British, and his fiancée Melody Allen, Marjorie Reynolds, overhears. She gets Horatio to help her get word to Washington's men, but on the way, they are mistaken for traitors and shot. Now cursed to wander the Danbury estate until the end of time, or their innocence is proven, they are stuck, especially with the house burned and the furniture looted almost immediately. Now fast forward to the then modern times of 1946, and the house has been restored, with most of the original furniture returned. The house itself is now being occupied by Shelley Gage, John Sheldon, June Prescott, Lynn Baggett, Mildred Millie Dean, Benny Barnes, and psychiatrist Ralph Greenway, Bud Abbott. Now, since Ralph looks exactly like his ancestor Cuthbert Greenway, who'd also been played by Bud Abbott, obviously, Horatio takes to playing pranks on him. Now, the housekeeper, Emily, Gail Sondergaard, is aware of the ghost's existence, and once the others are aware, they all decide to do what they can to help the ghosts. Now, through a seance, they learn about Horatio's letter from George Washington, and they all set out to do what they can to find it. Now, after the success of their previous film, Little Giant, not to mention the continuation of the feud in which they still were not on speaking terms, Abbott and Costello again worked separately for the movie The Time of Their Lives. Now this movie takes it a step further, as they really don't interact with each other, especially since Lou is playing a ghost that none of the live characters can actually see for most of the movie. And they do none of their classic routines for this movie. Now, this movie ended up being one of the most expensive Abbott and Costello films to date as a result of the special effects, made somewhat worse by Lou's habits. Normally, Lou had a habit of taking home mementos from the movies they made, and rather problematically, sometimes before production on a set was even finished. It was made even worse here since the special effects required them to shoot some of the scenes over a 2-day period, since at least 2 takes were required for every shot, one with the actors and one without. Now, at one point, Lou took home some of the props before a scene was even finished, and so everything that had been filmed for that scene had to be redone. Now, I've seen it said that this is considered to be one of their better movies, and in my opinion, it certainly is. While they aren't interacting as much, Bud and Lou are still a lot of fun here. Certainly a lot better than they were in Little Giant. It's actually fun to see them with the slight role reversal, with Lou getting to pick on Bud for once. Not to mention Bud being the one scared as opposed to Lou. Although Lou does get scared a little too. I admit it's not a movie that you not want to think too hard about, as there are different plot points that don't make sense. I mean, seriously, it took these two ghosts 165 years to figure out that nobody could see them. And even when they did figure it out, they still feel the need to make themselves invisible. Honestly, it just feels more like an excuse for the filmmakers to show off what they could do for special effects. Still, I think the movie works well. It doesn't really have the side romances I'm prone to complaining about with these movies, and actress Marjorie Reynolds, whom Lou is paired with for most of the movie, is able to hold up her end of the comedy pretty well, more so than some of the other cast members in earlier Abbott and Costello films. Now again, I enjoy this one a lot, as I consider it one of their best movies, and it is one I have no trouble whatsoever recommending. Now this movie is available on Blu-ray from Shout Factory as part of the 28 film The Complete Abbott and Costello Universal Pictures Collection, and it's 1 hour and 22 minutes in length. Well, that should be all I have to say on this one, everybody, so thanks for listening, and I hope you'll keep tuning in for more.